lengths ranging from 10 seconds to 24 hours. Pretty cool. All right, I did not plan to go live today, really, but I mean, realistically, I should be going live all the time. Got it. Okay, got it. So, hi, YouTube. Welcome back. Me, not you, because you guys have probably all been here. I don't even know. I don't know where people are these days. I don't know if you guys are on TikTok or Instagram or whatnot, but I decided I would just pop on live and chat for a little bit because just wanted to reflect. I'm in a really, really good mood. I have really, really good, a really, really good mindset right now. And I thought, why not just go live while I'm feeling good? And I think this hoodie is definitely throwing the lighting off, plus all the things. Hi, Nancy. Happy New Year. Hey, Katie. She says, welcome back. Okay, so I sent out my newsletter this morning and I included Craft Your Stash as our free printable this year. This is the first time in, I think, 10 years that I haven't come out with a free printable planner. No matter how hard life has gotten, I've always been able to get my life enough together to make the free printable planner. But that just didn't happen this year. And I'm being okay with that because I can't go back. I can't change it. I can't fix it. It's the new year. It's day one. And I could either dwell on the fact that I sucked at that, or I could just move forward and have a lot of good intentions for 2024 and all the things. So in my newsletter today, I told you guys that I'm going to be trying my hardest. You guys know how bad I am at this, but I am going to be trying my hardest to only speak on things that I have created for my community or created that I can actually like add to the website right when I talk about it. Heading to Animal Kingdom. Okay, that's where I want to be. Okay, so I'm drinking tea because if you guys follow Tiff on Instagram, or TikTok or wherever else, I think she does YouTube shorts too. She has been educating on the tea, and I only have peppermint because I got peppermint and I think lavender, and I didn't want to fall asleep. So I got peppermint, and that's what I'm drinking right now in my new Yeti that I got from our high school pastor because I'm a high school leader and I get a gift every year. So I got a Yeti and a Dutch Bros gift card. How was your guys' Christmas? How was your guys' year? Like I said, I'm in a very, very positive mood right now. So I thought it would be a really good time to reflect on the last year, kind of share my planner status with you guys, because one of the things that I was I hope it gets better, Maritza. If it's not good, if it's okay, that's okay. But one of the things I have been reflecting on is, what do I actually do? Like, if you were to strip my studio away and all the craft supplies that I've been gifted or given or worked with a company on, what would stay in my life and what would go, and what would I choose to bring back home? Like when I'm home, because I don't have any of my crafting supplies at home, what do I miss the most? And the biggest thing, my work spoiled me this year. They gave me an HTVront auto press. That's definitely one of the things that I would want to have always, is the auto press. Packing for Run Disney, I'm running as Dumbo. My tank top is one of your designs for the race. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. So my thoughts are, what do I miss most and what would I want to bring home? The goal is in a year and a half to have my studio move back to a home. Hopefully, I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but that's the goal. My lease is up in a year and a half here, and we are renting a home right now. So we sold our home. I'll go into all of that. Lots of changes this year, lots. And I'm going to talk about things that you're going to be like, are you okay talking about this, Tay? And I just want you guys to know beforehand, yes, I am okay talking about this stuff. Some of the stuff I can't talk about because of legal reasons, which sounds crazy, but basically we are foster parents right now. So we cannot share a lot of details on what actually has been going on in our lives. And so I'll touch on that subject, but obviously I can't go into details about that, nor do I really want to. So we have had a year. And so that one thing that I am like, I want to have in my life are my stickers and my watercolor and my pens and my planners and my journals. So how much more fitting is this live or this video period on the first of the year than planning? Because that is my passion. That is my love. You've never told us about the Airbnb show. Okay, so the Airbnb show, it's not an Airbnb show. It's a show. We're gonna be on House Hunters, and that airs January 31st. So we were told that it was gonna air in the fall, and it hasn't aired yet. And that will be, we did get the air date though, January 31st, 10:30 p.m. So I'll try to update you guys as it gets closer if it gets moved or anything. But we really kind of wanted to see it before we told people about it, because we were like, what is this? They basically reached out to our realtor and found cabins that had been sold. I don't want to like spoil the fact that the show, but it, like, if you think about shows and how production works, you will have to realize like not everything you watch is 100% authentic. So they try to base the storyline around why you really moved to a cabin, but because ours is an Airbnb, the cabin was set up as a place we wanted to move to. So I'm only telling you guys that right now. It's only 31 people. So as more people watch this video, obviously you guys are going to see that, but just keep it on the DL. Like, they like to keep it like magical, and like these people are actually moving up to the mountains in a cabin. So they kind of write a little bit of a storyline, but they definitely work it around who you are and like your story. Like, they had the girls in it, and we actually had just gotten guardianship of my nephew that exact week. And so filming was really, really chaotic because we were thrown into having a 4-year-old, and we were traveling with him every single day to go up to our cabin. And it was really, really hard because we were my phone on do not disturb. We were changing diapers, and we were trying to tame a toddler in the mountains for 5 days of filming. And so it was really, really complicated, but I think they got what they needed. I don't know. So we agreed to do that show before my sister passed away, and we didn't know when the filming was going to happen, but the filming ended up happening the week we got my nephew, custody of my nephew, not custody, but guardianship of my nephew. And so it was very, very chaotic. But yeah, so 2023, this was my planner for 2023. Well, this was my journal. So doing the same thing as I did last year, I'm keeping a journal in one and a planner in another. Yes, I will plan. Actually, I was really proud of one spread, and this is kind of where I want to go. And I was inspired by Sam because she, I believe, was doing this or something similar to this. So I kind of like fell off the bandwagon of journaling really in 2020, but it's just been a struggle to get back in since then. But this year just hit so hard that a lot of my journal is blank. I hate that. I literally would prefer to just beat it up and write down things in it, no matter what, how ugly it is. 2019 was that year for me. My journal is really ugly, but all of my thoughts are in it. So this year I actually ended up putting a lot of my thoughts on my Facebook and sharing stuff just in real time or in person with people, because it just kept going, and it kept just getting more and more traumatizing. And so I was like, I can't pause to write this down or try to make it pretty. Okay, I thought I did a month the way that I was wanting to do all my months. It's in here. I know it's in here. It has to be in here somewhere. Maybe I did it in another planner. But anyways, so I want to watercolor my entire planner this year and have it be a creative outlet. So one of the months I did do this. I just kind of wrote a little blurb just so I couldn't forget what the month was. But it was just real chaotic for a while. So I was not able to just like stick to anything in my planner or my journal. I was using the Laurel Denise planner for my planner. So it did get a little bit, of use, but it didn't get as much like creativity as I wanted. Okay, did I go back and do a month like it? Because I was like, once I saw, ooh, maybe it's in last year's. Okay, so we could see that I was starting my planner journey this year and getting back in the swing, and then it just got real bad, real quick. So my actual first 2 days of the year was really pretty. Let's just pretend like the whole journal looks like this. So because I can't go back and fix it, I could, or I could just go, that journal is blank because my mind is still processing a lot of the stuff that happened. So this is my newest one. This is the one we're jumping into this year. I know a bunch of you guys still have the bullet journal, the bubble journal. That's why I'm choosing to use it this year, because I know a lot of you guys have purchased it or got some in your Hello Goodbye box. So I want to commit to using this probably for at least 2 more years. And then who knows if there'll be a new journal or if we'll just jump to like a journal that already exists or whatever. But I got plans, I got goals, but again, I'm not talking about them until they're real. So I did my index, and if you guys didn't know how the index works, and also we have this printable. So if you're like, I loved the Bujo, but I can't get it because it doesn't exist anymore, we do have it in printable. Or if there's even just like a part of it that you like, you can print out just the part that you like. And that goes for my little black Bujo that I used to have, and that goes for every planner I've ever created. We have the printable for my members. Okay, so the first 20 pages of this is a year in review. So I like to try to get that set up as fast as possible, usually before the year begins. This year I did it on New Year's Eve. Well, I started laying it out. So this is the first 20 pages, and you title the 20 pages, and I like to give a little sketch of what that is. You can do icons, you can do stickers, you can do whatever you want. But then those 20 pages are those days. And that's what I'm going to spend some time setting up today and tomorrow, and just kind of update you guys on Instagram what it looks like. And I'm sharing my habits and just trying to use you guys as kind of like an accountability partner through planning. And whether you're using this planner or journal or you're using your own system, take stuff from me and share your ideas with me, and I'll add that to mine. I really want to get sketchy and drawy and artsy fartsy in this. And so that's why I pulled this bad boy out, which is all of my colored pencils and my watercolor brush. Did it make it back in here? I might change this bag out because I don't like this bag. I love this bag, but it's really not that practical for finding pens. My favorite bags are from Walmart, and they're clear so you can like see in them. And I have like an Ariel one and a Winnie the Pooh one. They're super cute. So anyways, so this year, like, I usually write out my reflection for the year in those first 20 pages from the previous year. So I believe I did that in my last year's, which my journal is very personal. One of my favorite spreads, that's what I can do, is I can show you some of the spreads that made it. And one of my favorites was this guy, which was the coffee page. And these pages are printable too, not the coffee part. Maybe I'll make some stickers. Don't want to say what I'm gonna do, but I've thought about making stickers that are these if you can't draw them. But for the most part, coffee cups and coffee mugs and banners are super easy to draw. And I just drew a bunch of coffee cups out, and I wrote in whenever I would meet someone for lunch or coffee or just intentional one-on-one time. And I actually ended up doing quite a bit. And this year I already have 3 set for the first week of the year. So I'm gonna probably make this a little bit smaller and condensed and have more coffee cups on it. But loved this spread, worked out great. This spread usually works out great, and it's super easy. You just do a squiggle. This one actually ended up looking like a 23, but the year just went crazy. Starting February, actually starting in January, with just cuckoo for Cocoa Puff stuff. And so I just did not get into it. Birthdays and celebrations. There were birthdays and celebrations had, but did they make it in my planner? No. Digital organization page. I did like this. Digital organization did get done, but not to the degree that I wanted it to. And organized life has been happening though. My home is so organized right now. The studio is the next project. It's insane over here, guys. And Tiff moved into my warehouse for the business that she works for. So Tiffany works for my uncle, and my uncle passed away on 13th of December. So they have the warehouse, and I moved everything from the warehouse into here. I have like one little corner that I have some storage in there, but I moved it all into here. And I was actually filming DIY life, and I documented like that whole process, but my nephew was in that, and I can't share my nephew because of legal reasons. So I have all this footage that I've been playing with and wanting to compile somehow, but I just can't share it with you guys. So it's there, it's just not edited and put together in something that is tangible. Or do I want to share it? I don't know yet. So favorite spread always use is my 6x5, 3x2, 6x5. And by the last 5 months of the year, I did not do it. We also have the printable version of this. I thought I grabbed it, but I didn't. We have a printable version of this for your A5 planners. I don't have one for the Laurel Denise, but you could do one in your Laurel Denise planner just by sketching it out. Travel tracker usually works really good. I usually love this, and I do a packing list on one side and then I travel track on the other side. And we ended with Africa. So we went to Africa, but we did not travel for the rest of the year. I traveled once. I went on a solo trip with my cousin down to SoCal. I shared in my stories quite a bit about the hurricane that was coming through. That was for me to get away and kind of like calm my central nervous system. And I was supposed to go get sunshine, but the hurricane came through. And so that just was like, I don't know. So no traveling this year after January. Because again, we were adjusting to having a 4-year-old who was in a lot of court cases and things like that we had to be present for. So my events page, so I did have celebration at birthdays. I think I condensed it in the new one to be celebrations, birthdays, and events because it's almost the same spread, but then I don't fill out all of it. And I like my pages to be full. Like I like text everywhere, as you can see in my sermon notes. Like my sermon notes are usually text. I don't like any negative space. I like it to be full, full, full. And so this was actually a reflection page of the trip that we went on. And I may have to get going soon because I just got a text from someone who I'm supposed to meet. This was a reflection page. Love this spread. Okay, so I did this with Creativation 2020 before the whole world shut down, and then I totally forgot I was doing these. But when I was on a trip, I would just create a spread just for that trip and document everything from that trip, and then that little section would be from that trip. Really loved that. So you can do this in a bullet journal. You can do this in a regular journal. You can do this in so much stuff. So that was our New Year's service. Galentine's event. So I did travel before February, but after February, it was just kind of not so travel-y, not so eventy. So lots of things. I did not go to summer camp this year for the first time in, oh gosh, a really, really long time with my girls. And it was Briley's first year going to summer camp, and I did not get to go with her on that. And so it's just a year. So just a really quick recap of like, I mean, I think you guys know like how much had happened, especially if you like follow me and I don't know, I don't think I've shared everything, but like when I reflect on it, I'm just like, holy moly, this year was insane. But what I'm leaving this year with is like, I'm not leaving it because it's obviously a year that existed in my life. And it's obviously something I need to process through. And I have been processing through in real time. Something that's been very helpful is that I have not been live and I have not been just processing with you guys. I've been forced to kind of slow down and process on my own and grieve on my own. And by on my own, I mean with Jesus, because he has really, really given me this like year to show me I am sufficient for you. Like nothing else. You don't need your business. You don't even need your marriage. You don't need your husband or your kids or anything. Like you don't need them, but they're a blessing in your life. And everything I have given you is a blessing in your life. And that is where I am walking into. My niece and I were just texting. So my niece lost her mom. That's my sister. She's 23. And we both were just like, Happy New Year. What does this year look like for us? Let's make your mama proud. Let's do big things. But by big, we mean like anything that we're allowed to do or gifted to do in this life is a big thing. So, like, whether I'm just snuggling with my nephew or hanging out with my daughters or going on a quiet drive by myself, it's a big thing. And I'm thankful for it and I'm grateful for it. And I'm going to use it to love and exude love and be loved. And so I think I did not expect for this year to start off as positive as I have been. But losing my uncle on the 13th has shown me that, because my uncle, and I'm hoping to share his testimony. I have it on video and he would hands down approve of me sharing his testimony. But my uncle had lost his wife, his daughter, and his daughter-in-law all within a year span of each other. And my uncle was the most loving human being on the planet, giving, generous. He hires his nieces and nephews. He took on my warehouse with my cousin because they knew that it was kind of like a burden to, not a burden to me, but they needed it and they were willing to, go use this studio because it helped me. And he was this just amazing, giving, generous, God-fearing man. And him leaving us the end of this year was like, thank you, Lord, for allowing that to happen in 2023. So it's not something I have to like bring into 2024 as like, ugh, it just started off like that. And who knows what could happen? Like, who knows if, more death is in our lineup with my family. We've lost 12 people and it's just been crazy. But in reality, I'm learning grief so well. Like, I understand it so well. And I'm not afraid of it anymore. And I was extremely afraid of it when I lost my sister this year. I knew exactly what I had to walk through, but at the same time I didn't, because I had never lost a sibling, and it's probably the hardest thing I've ever done. But at the same time, I know it could get harder. I know if I lost my kids or my husband, like, what would happen? And I know there's many, many people out there who walk through that and other things and multiple losses of extremely important people. And I'm not alone, and neither are they. And I think that's one of the biggest things, is by me opening up about it, I've learned that death is a stigma that we get afraid of talking about, but it happens to everyone. So why are we afraid of talking about it? And that was kind of my uncle's like view on death, losing so many people in his life. He had lost a spouse and a child. He told me when I was talking to him one day that God sees death as a homecoming. And I believe I've shared that before, but it's so much different now that he has passed away, because he he would always be the one to comfort others through that process and just let them know, like, no, this is what everyone's going to go through, and it is a homecoming if you love God and Jesus, and it's going to be it's just, so for him to pass away, it was like this this is what he's been waiting for his entire life. Like, he's struggled so much on this earth, and he crossed over that terrifying thing that we're all so scared of, and he did it. And we're here left to grieve and to mourn. And yes, we miss him terribly and will miss him terribly. Everything is different. Everything is different when someone passes away, that you're used to being in your rhythms of your year, your weeks, your days. And that's something I've learned too, is there are deaths that affect your yearly rhythms, your holiday rhythms, and then there are deaths that affect your daily rhythms. And those are the ones that are in your face 24/7. And I'm not saying they're harder. I'm just saying that they are, that grief is more intense, because you can't just veg and get away from it. You are affected by it every single day, and there's triggers every single day. And so, obviously, being grown up siblings, my sister and I, the death didn't affect, like, oh, I'm not seeing my sister every day, but then I am raising her child. So, there's been a lot. So, uh, yeah, and we've also had, transition with our family that we had agreed to over 2 years ago, and it also aligned that it all happened this year. And so we were asked if we could be the guardians of some of our girls' best friends, that I'll share more later as they feel more comfortable with me sharing. And I have asked them, like, do you care if I talk about you guys on my channel? Like, how do you guys feel about this? And we've been 100% transparent with them, and they're like, yeah, we'll be on your YouTube channel whenever you want. But I'm trying to respect that process. So a couple years ago, we were asked if we could be uh, a part of this family, and if anything ever happened to their grandparents that were raising them, if we would step in and be their guardians. And that all hit kind of this year. And so we are stepping in kind of as guardians of a couple other kids too. And so it's been a year of loss and grief and joy and growth. And oh my gosh, when I say, like, my Christmases a couple years ago were kind of like getting lame because my kids were getting older. And this Christmas, like, even though it was our first Christmas without a few people, the fact that, like, my nieces and nephews are closer to each other and us, and my this new family that we are meshing with is like family now. Like, it's just been such a blessing in, like, our lives growing, our family, and the size of our family, and the people that we have to love and love us. And so, all that to say, that's what would be in this planner with a lot of processing if I had actually written it down in here. But I have done a lot of processing, so I actually have been video blogging, but not to, like, share with people. I've just been, like, because I don't always have the time to sit and write, I just turn on my camera and then I video blog what I'm feeling. And then I've just kind of kept that in an archive somewhere that I'm like, maybe one day I'll use it, but probably not very often or soon, until I can really make sense of everything that happened this year. And so, with that, I hate talking about it because I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I also don't want to, like, make promises or, like, I'm going to be live every day. But what I can say is that I have gotten very comfortable being in the state that I'm in, whether I'm sad or happy or mad or any emotion that I'm experiencing. I'm learning it's okay to have those emotions, and it's okay to show up not well, and it's okay to show up broken. And what I've learned most in this last week, as this year has taken an awful toll on my husband and my relationship, is, and I'm only sharing this because I've already seen the fruit, but I reached out to my community that I know are God-fearing prayer warriors, and I said, I need prayer. And I need this specifically to be prayed over because I have not been talking about it with anyone. And everyone's praying for us because of grief and because of my husband's job that is very stressful right now, and all the things that I've been transparent about. But I chose to be transparent about something this last week, and about 8 people were praying for me. And I've already seen just the fixing of so many things that I couldn't fix myself. And so just want you guys to know, like, if you're feeling like you need to open up about anything or share anything, don't ever feel ashamed. There's many times when I'm like, why are you talking about that on the internet? But then I'm like, there are 43 people right here that could possibly be needing to hear this. And that's why, because for some reason I'm feeling like I got to tell you guys this. But if you're ever feeling alone or isolated, or like you can't share things with somebody that you're going through, that's the enemy. But I will say, protect your circle and only open up to people who are in your best interest and love you and love your family and love your love you mostly. Just, I mean, that are not out to hurt you. And I've kind of learned that this year. I've learned that over the last few years. It's just like everybody who even says they're in my circle might not actually be in my circle. And so there's that. That was the year. I do have to go because I did get a text from somebody I have to meet up with. But my intention, since it's my year, my goal this year, my word this year, is to be present with you guys. And that might look more like being raw and open and talking videos, and that might look like crafting videos, and I don't know what that looks like. And my intention is to be transparent with you guys, and so I'm going to be transparent, and by being transparent, I hope that that can break down my like need for control of my videos being perfect and my YouTube channel being perfect, and just letting the Lord kind of work through this process, because I don't know, he's worked before through the chaos and the mess of me just not having any plan. And so I love you guys, and I'm here. I'm doing well, getting better, healing, grieving still. A new round of grief is very fresh. But like I said, I believe I've gotten through one of the hardest griefs I can get through. And obviously it's always going to affect me. But I'm crossing over, and anyone who is grieved knows that you cross over a point when you talk about the person who has passed away in a way that is joyful and everything isn't so painful. And I do believe, because I've been so transparent about it, I've been able to move through that grief process a little bit faster, instead of being like, I can't share this with anyone, I can't talk about this with anyone, I can't burden anyone with the feelings because then they're gonna get sad. Don't worry about that. Just talk about it. And if you guys need to talk about anything, feel free to send me a message on Instagram. I do read all my Instagram messages, and I read comments on YouTube too. But if you're like, I just want it to be private, send it to me on Instagram. There are so many of you guys who have opened up to me because of me being vulnerable and opening up. And I'm like, holy crap, that's why I needed to share that. Katie, you're one of them that I just can, like, as you commented, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I know some of you guys and some of your stories, and I know that you guys have all had these gut-wrenching, painful things happen, and so have I. And I'm like, who am I to say, no, we're gonna shove that down and we're just gonna sublimate some stuff today? But, so, here I am. Not sure what this year will look like, but I am hopeful and I am excited. Me and Tiff are very excited. I don't know what that means. We might run each other off a cliff, but we're excited. So, all right. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in my next live, or, yeah, my next live video is when I'll see you guys. Bye. Or on my Instagram stories. I'm always on there, and, well, kind of always. I'm trying.